Kia ra papa, na mihi nui ki a koe mō tō tai mai I tēnei patapātai, tēnei interview. Well, just a question really. So Alistair Reese, Dr. Alistair Reese, you wrote an awesome article with the Baptist magazine, Why Pākehā need to know who they are. We've had an interesting question in response to this article. I'm going to read the excerpt of where the question came from. Ka pai?
Ka pai.
So as Pākehā, my response is to honour tangata whenua as I see elders honoured in scripture. From this position of vulnerability, I honour Māori, not because there is something better about Māori, but because there is something appropriate for me, that when Māori and Pākehā are together, I take my lead from Māori. Okay, here te pātai. If you take your lead from Māori in Māori spaces, does that mean when Māori are in Pākehā space, they take their lead from Pākehā? Kia koe.
That's a good question and logical question coming out of the statement. It's all about context. If I use an English whakatauki or proverb, you could say that the home really is one's castle. What they're talking about in there is that the place of your dwelling is where you have autonomy. And so when you enter into someone else's house, you follow the tikanga of that house. And that's an English culture, that's an English tikanga as well. So if I was to extrapolate that out in terms of what I've said about Māori and honouring Māori in the way of looking to them for the lead, the context is where are we? Where are we dwelling? Not in my house particularly, but in the motu of this land. So I would suggest that Māori have been given the leadership in this land as tangata whenua, as people, first people of the land. Again, it's not a value in terms of the worth of the person. It's about protocols, about tikanga. And so in this land, I look to Māori for leadership. I look to Māori for inspiration in a sense as to how we are to be and how we should appropriately relate to the land and to each other. This is not an absolute. Of course, there's nuances and there's grey areas, but this is really talking about an ethos of the heart in terms of not only human protocol, but as I would understand it, in terms of divine protocol as well, that Māori were established as tangata whenua, as first people of the land, and therefore there's a leadership role that is given to them, to all who enter into the land, to look to them and to search in their world for ways that we can live appropriately here.
You were tempted to quote your favourite scripture, weren't you?
You tell me.
I could see it on the tip of your tongue.
Yeah, Acts 17. Yes.
I'd say that scripture is one of the foundations of your approach to this living alongside one another in Aotearoa.
It's been very helpful to me personally. It's not the only doorway that you can enter into this understanding of protocols, but it helped me to understand that not only are there human protocols, but there are also divine protocols, and every institution has them. And that includes government, marriage, family. We're all governed by protocols. Some of them we're aware of, and some of them we're not.
Ka pai. Ai, anō, he nui te whakaaro. Kei te mihi ki a koe, tōku papa, mō tēnei whakaaro, mō tō mātauranga.
I just want to finish by saying that it's a very complex question, and obviously you haven't been able to give it its full due in this short answer, but that gives some small indication of my thinking on it.
I think it gives a background to why you would even have this sort of thought,
right.
And gives a background to, again, how you position yourself in Aotearoa and how you position yourself as a leader amongst others, amongst tangata whenua and amongst your Pākehā peers as well.
Kia ora.
Kia ora!